He reads a lot of books. He reads his Quran several times over. And he's making best use of the time in jail right now. All credit, now I'm going to say that, and we said it to our brother, all credit goes to you. This will, mark my word, it will be written in history, in the world history. They will be studying what the phenomena that happened on 8th of February in Pakistan. You have to see, you build him up into a monster. People understood he's not a monster. He's always thought about his people. This is absolutely historical. It's a global history in the making. We are very proud of being Pakistanis. And I think a lot of other countries will learn from it. Remember, he became a prisoner. He is a prisoner of conscience. His life's dream was 8th February, and it has happened. Now it's up to us to make sure that we bring him out.
How have the meetings been? How is he in jail? How has he been taken care of, in the sense, how difficult has the situation been for him?
Well, he's been in jail for about 6 months, and he's very well adjusted to his circumstances, and he reads a lot. Remember, he said it in the beginning that if you put somebody in jail for a crime, it must be one of the most difficult things to endure. But when you're in it for a cause, and when it is a mission, then he's adjusted himself to a routine. He reads a lot of books. He reads his Quran several times over. And he's making best use of the time in jail right now.
You've met him a few times, and you met him after the results as well. Tell us, what was the conversation with your brother? Was he happy with the result, or is he still disappointed in how the system has failed the people?
Actually, we have met him a lot of times over the past few months simply because the courts shifted themselves into the jail, and there's a community center where they set up courts. So as a result, there were a lot of lawyers coming for different cases. The judges would change. There might be sometimes 3 cases in a day. So there was always, we could sometimes be spending the whole day in the jail court, and we were able to have a lot of interaction with him.
And in the interactions, at least after the election results, how was his disposition?
Actually, before even, I must mention what was before that. Before election results, for all these months that he's been in the jail court, there was a lot of communication. Otherwise, he was in solitary confinement. And thanks to all these cases in jail, we were able to communicate with him. The lawyers were able to communicate with him. So he had a lot of interaction. But after the elections, we met him yesterday. And normally these visits are about half an hour. But I tell you, it was, I fail for words. One day, this will, mark my word, it will be written in history, in the world history. They will be studying what the phenomena that happened on 8th of February in Pakistan. And Imran Khan's face, my brother's face, we were like my 2 sisters and myself, we were able to spend half an hour with him, and our excitement to tell him what we saw. And when we told him what we saw, I'll tell you what we saw, that we felt it was important to tell him, that because that was his day. 8th February was his day. But what we told him, and on which his expression, I wish I'd had a camera, I could have taken his picture. I told him, my sisters told him, the most exciting part, I said they were children right down to the age of 4, women and children. If we asked them at polling station, it was like a festival. And we would ask the 5-year-old, I asked a 7-year-old, I said, what are you doing here? They said, we've come to vote. So what his message has gone down to a 4-year-old. And this is absolutely historical. It's a global history in the making. We are very proud of being Pakistanis. And I think a lot of other countries will learn from it. It was very astute. People were, I think they understood what the meaning of the vote was for the first time. They understood children understood. There was no chaos on the streets. There was silent revolution. I would call it a peaceful and silent revolution, a rejection of a elite capture system, and all credit. Now I'm going to say that, and we said it to our brother. All credit goes to you that you mentored a whole youth and a nation to stand up for their rights. And that is what we saw on the 8th of February.
Did he think that that will really impact PTI's prospects? Snatching away the bat symbol, all of that?
Well, that's what you call pre-poll tricking, isn't it? First, you put 202 cases on him. Then you closer to the election. But all these things we all understand is done out of fear. It's only what is the fear from? You have to see, you build him up into a monster. People understood he's not a monster. He's always thought about his people. And he stood, yes, there were options given to him, maybe from different quarters. It came second-hand information, third-hand information, that if you leave the country. So he said, why would I leave the country? I will face all my cases. Now, because the cases are so ridiculous, so it is a lot of responsibility on the judiciary. And the trial courts that were held in jail were a joke. So that has been tested and failed miserably in providing fair justice. So now it is up to the high courts. And he's not wanting a pardon, trust me. He doesn't want a pardon from anybody. He's saying, I will face my cases. So he's facing his cases. One, first they took away, they dismantled his party. And in our part of the world, we have a large, community which cannot read. So the only way we recognize how to vote would be with a symbol. And his symbol is so well recognized. And there are two colors, which was green and red. So they banned flags, they banned PTI's rallies, they took away his symbol, and they gave people, and people fought back. It was the peaceful fight that I'm talking about. This fight there was no anarchy. As I said, we are proud to be Pakistanis. The way how intelligently it was handled by everybody, right down to the children, right down to the children. They took away the bat, they gave them kettle, somebody had a wheelchair, another person had a, baby
Light,
plant,
bulb, bottle,
anything.
brinjal.
Yeah, vegetables, fruits. And, people made good use of it. I mean, they made jingles out of it. They sort of bought into it and took it up and went with the symbols. So imagine every person. So when we went to vote, I can assure you, I got confused. And I was panicking. I said, there are two rackets over here. Which racket am I supposed to vote on? I mean, they were like rackets. I had a racket that I had to vote on. And another thing, I think maybe a shoe, but I had to vote on a shoe. But I was checking, and everybody was standing in line, the bonding in the line, that everybody was helping. No, no, don't vote on that racket, vote on this racket. So everybody in that line was voting PTI.
But in the future, has the PTI, has Imran Khan managed to do away with PMLN? Is this the end of PMLN Nawaz?
Maybe they never really existed. Maybe they never really existed. If this is the way they were ruling and sort of plundering Pakistan, maybe this was game up. The differential was so huge. The fact is that people had to come out and reject the whole system of plundering and keeping them under their thumb, and I think, just the disrespect to the people. In our parts of the world, and it's also in India. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not in India. And India today can learn from Pakistan that you must stand up for your rights. That vote has value. And if you understand that you are not just a rubber stamp for people, electoral, a member of parliament to use you and then to use it as a position of power. No, it is a position of service. So there has to be a change. Electorate has to hold its representatives accountable when they send them into an assembly. So it is going to be a change in our part of the world, and I'm sure it will influence electoral elections in India also. that please stand up for your thing. And then one day, maybe we can have peace in Kashmir and we can have peace in Pakistan and in India.
Finally, before I let you go, are you confident that Imran Khan will walk out a free man, or is it going to be very difficult for him? What are the challenges ahead for Imran Khan in terms of being a free man, and for Bushra Bibi?
You see, Bushra Bibi is incarcerated in the house. It's a sub jail. And she's there only because of Imran Khan to basically put pressure on him, right? It's so ridiculous, the cases they've put on Bushra Bibi as well. It's really ridiculous. Like, it's so ridiculous that you feel that, I mean, why are we going to discuss it? It shouldn't have happened in the first place. It's like you make a laughing stock of yourself doing cases like that. The thing is, do you think for
I
a
would call
moment?
it a self goal. I really think this was a self goal by bringing out an Iddat case by the opposition.
I mean, you've disenfranchised everybody. It's like, who told you to do this? Whoever planned this should be fired. If I think you should be fired. But Imran Khan, do you think for a minute that we are sitting around not to have him out? There are three parties who are going to form a government with no credible mandate. Like, they don't have a moral authority to keep Imran Khan in jail. I mean, they're going to have it very tough. Do you think for a moment all the people who put in the effort to come and cast their vote, they took a decision? And do you think that they are going to allow anybody to steal it? That's the next step. They will come out, they will protect their own mandate. And they will not have the people who've stolen their mandate get away with this. That's for sure. Like, they put Imran Khan in prison in terms of Imran Khan staying in prison. So he will face his cases in High Court. And now it's up to
no deals with the military to leave the country or go seek an asylum to some other country.
Why? I don't understand why people even ask that question. 6
because
months.
There were reports that the military had offered him a deal and there was an aircraft waiting for him to leave the country and go to London.
That's propaganda. He's sitting in jail. Nobody meets him because nobody dares meet him. Nobody dares meet him because he's not in, I mean, listen, he's made it very clear. He's not here for becoming a prime minister. He never was. You've got to understand 8th February is what he was. His life's dream was 8th February, and it has happened. Now it's up to us to make sure that we bring him out.